Hi, Wyatt here for another of the Jewel School Workshop videos. So come with me and we're gonna make a sparkle woven bracelet. You'll find that this is a really beautiful and sparkly thing. We all like sparkly things. So let's get after this. Too much fun. So how we do this, because we're using this wonderful material that is 100% recycled, we're saving the planet partially, and we also have a really great piece of material that's very strong and will keep the abrasion down, and it's wonderful to look at. So we'll be using that. We need a 5-foot piece, and we want to condition the ends. Basically, we want to glue them completely together. Just open this up, be very careful, and just get some of this glue onto the material, just like so, back and forth, and to the other side as well. And then just get rid of this. You need to set this aside for a while. It doesn't take that long for it to set up, because it's a cyanoacrylate, which makes it for a very fast drying, but you do have to be careful because you don't want to glue yourself to it. That should be drying. Just get a little bit more dry on there. And then at the very end, you want, at the middle of the 5-foot piece, you want to just push this through one of these fabulous bead crystal encrusted large hole 5mm beads. Now the hole size in this is 5 millimeters. That would be the minimum size that you could use on the bead for this item. So if you're interested in the JTV item, it's a JLW 13514 for the sparkles. All right, now you're gonna tie a double knot, and that's just pushing this over and through twice. And this end needs to be about the size of, oops, I didn't do a double knot. Okay, double knot means to go through twice. So once and twice. Okay, and then we're just gonna pull this one side and this side so that we have a nice end here. Now this end we're gonna pull through and into, it's not gonna fit into it, so you need to get a pair of pliers and you need to squeeze the knot and be pulling at the same time with your fingers back here. Squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull until you get that knot to start going inside. This is gonna get rid of the great big bad knot, and it's gonna put it inside the bead. This is a good tip for you to be able to do this for other things as well. And now you're gonna wanna glue that down as well. I'm not gonna glue this one because I don't wanna glue my fingers together, but I would glue it, walk away for a while, put a little fan on it if you've got one, and get that going. Maybe I'll put a little bit of glue here just on this side. Now, be very careful because the glue does run on this braided material. So just get this down here and give it a drop, okay? It's really good to have a fan too, because sometimes the glue will cause a sort of an outgassing that will encrust the crystals, but you can get that off. Just blow on it a little bit, let it dry some, and now we start with our braid. So here's the bead, and we've added it up here. We're gonna push this, pull this open, and our end that we glued is gonna be our sort of our needle. You're gonna bring this up through the bottom and then down through here. And I'm gonna snug that up so that we're a little bit, so that we have a hold of this. And we're gonna come up through here on this side and then down and pull that through here so that we've got the same thing going on over here. And now we can start to pull this from the bottom here. And you got to pull these so that the center will pull down from the top and get this kind of centered there. And then pull these taut. And that's gonna form your braid that we're gonna use to tighten these. But you've got to be able to pull the center here to get that tight, and then pull these two to then cinch down and tighten on the back side here, okay? So you've got it looking just like that, and that's gonna keep that one in place. And then we're gonna take these two and we're gonna add another one of our beads and do the exact same thing. So this weave is a little bit tricky at first because you have to make sure that you stay symmetrical on both sides, and it's easy to get confused on where you're doing this. So you're bringing this up through the center, pulling this out to here, and then going down through here. Okay? That's what you want. So I'm going to tighten that up just a little bit and then do the same thing over here. So up through the bottom, around, and then down through here. And then tighten that up. And then once again, being able to tighten this up, you need to grab these two pieces of the material, the repeat material, and just pull that snug, and then pull these outside too, so that this is going to match up to about there. Okay, and these should be crisscrossing and tightening. There you go. Okay, so that's the long and the short of the braid. Now we've added our third bead, and we're going to go for the fourth bead. That just comes up like so, and then again the right goes up through here and then down through there. Get that somewhat tight there. Oops. Try not to tighten it too much. And then we're going to take this one and come up through the bottom here. And then down through that loop on the left here. Tighten as we did before. Making sure these guys stay in their lane. Just like so, and then tighten with each side. And then you start to see what your braid is gonna look like. This needs to open up just a skosh here. And then we're ready for our fifth bead. All right, so we're on to our fifth bead. Pull the repeat through, open up the center, bring the right side up through the center, over, in through here, and down. Tighten that up a little bit. Let it kind of drive up here. And do the same thing on the other side. And then down through the center here. So it's an up from the back and then down through that loop. Okay, so pull these up here and then pull these down. Making sure that they're staying nice and tight from both the inside of the bead as well as the material that's on the outside of the bead. And you'll see that it's starting to give it a nice curve so that it will ride on your wrist to a really nice curvature. That's why I decided to use the elasticity material to be able to not have to have a clasp on this. It just will stretch, which is quite a bit of fun. So we'll just open this up. It's our same. You'll be doing this in your sleep after you make one of these bracelets. And any 5mm hole bead will work for this up through the bottom. I'm saying this for my own benefit because I find on doing newer things, I need to make sure that I keep doing it the same way. I kind of have a little bit of dyslexic tendencies when it comes to things that are over and over again. It's kind of difficult for me sometimes. Now, making loops in wire, no problem, but doing something like this, it does take some time to get used to doing the same thing again and again. And you just kind of have to nudge this stuff and get it to where it's working for you. And then we're on to our next bead. Both go through. Bead comes down, up through the center, and down through this loop. And once you get the hang of it, it does get a little bit easier. You're able to know where you're coming from and where you're going to, and having the amount of material that you need prior to starting one of these. Obviously, if you have a small wrist, you're going to want to do fewer beads, of course, as well as probably adjusting the amount of the elastic material that you're going to use. So I'm just going to pull this down like so. Get it nice and tight there. Pull this up and pull this down. And make sure that seats well. Just under there. And you've got that beautiful bracelets coming together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are about halfway there. Depending on your wrist size, of course. So, oops, make sure you get the right one first. And you're going to bring that up through here and back through here, going down on the exit, and then do the same thing on the other side. Find that holding this portion makes it a little bit easier for you to be able to get in between here than to get this down and through. Use the table, use whatever you think that you need to make it easier for you. I find that the table definitely helps. And keeping one a little more taut than the other before you go in for the strangulation of the knot. it helps things to be just a little bit more tight. You can just pull that. There you go. And number 8 is done. And number 9 is ready. Just kind of like a little production, but it's nice when you see it starting to come together because you know it's going to be a really, really flashy, beautiful bracelet. And it's made of, recycled material. At least the stringing material is recycled, so that's always a good thing. And then this just comes down through here. Again, we're going to pull this down nice and taut, and then pull these 2 sides. And you may find for yourself that pulling both at one time may be good, or just pulling one at a time. Just make sure you keep everything symmetrical on both sides. So around, up through here, and then back down. And then hold, and do the same thing here. And back down through this one. I made them crisscross, but it corrected itself there. There we go. Pretty fun looking weave. Looks really nice from the underside as well, and the top. And then this is going to be, of course, the loop that we put the elastic material through and tie the knots. We're getting close. This is number 11 out of 14 beads. This one's going to be a little bit shorter than the others that I made. Because let's face it, some of you have smaller wrists. It's a very comfortable design that it'll snug your wrist. You'll know you have it on. Just a fun thing to do. It takes a little time, but it's kind of, I wouldn't say, yeah, you could say therapeutic. I mean, once you get the hang of these knots, if you will, it's almost like a slow macrame in a way, but with beautiful blue color. And I think the little stones just sparkle like fantastic. I think that one is just a little bit loose. So you can, it's always better to try to get the braid where you need it before you get too far away from it. Sometimes you can pull this up and get it going pretty easily, and sometimes it's a little harder. So just a word to the wise, just try to keep that open a little bit here. I've got a little, just open that up just a little bit, and that will take up some of the space that maybe needs to be lightened. Oh, I've got a crisscross one there. So that's probably part of what the little problem is there, is these two crossed, and they should be separate. So It's not a deal breaker. You can get along with it, but that's the little problem there. Looks like I got that one crossed. Always happens, you know. Even though you're concentrating and you are telling yourself, make sure that the one on the right is the one you're doing first, if that happens to be it. Go through here, and then don't get those crossed as you pull it back down. Hold on to this, move up here, and then back down through here. So watching this as many times, you should be able to have a good mechanism for doing this type of a braid. Just get that nice and tight, then pull one and the other. And this comes down over here. Tighten this one more time and pull this. There we go. We're getting there. Two more and we are golden. So this one, we're gonna come make sure that right and left are there. Yep. And bring the right side up and through. Over and down through. This one comes under from the back and over and back down through. Okay. Get this nice and tight. Right there. One at a time. And look at that nice little tight circle that it's making. It's going to just hug the wrist beautifully. Okay, come from underneath through the center and back down through this loop that we made. Hold on here, bring this up through here and back down through that loop. Pull this up tight. Pull one here, and then pull the other. Got a little bit of looseness there, so we'll just pinch with the fingernails and pull that out nice and tight, and then take up the slack with these. Okay, we've got all of our beads on now. Now we just have to make the piece here and make our loop for the bottom. Okay, now we're able to finish the other side of the bracelet and then attach it with the elasticity material. So we're gonna tie an overhand knot, just like so. And then looking at the other side of this, we know what size we need to make this loop. And we want the loop to be sort of to the side. And we're gonna tie a square knot. So here, We want that to be about the same size. It doesn't have to be exactly the same size, but it could be something similar like that. And then we're going to tie the reverse overhand knot to make a square knot out of that so that we can glue it and it won't come out. So I'm just going to pull that tight and then pull that one in one direction and this one in the other direction so that the two come together just like so. Then we're going to glue that so that it doesn't come out. We'll take a little bit of this glue again, and we're going to very, very carefully just put a dot right there. That's it. That's all you have to do. So we're going to give that a little bit of time, and we're going to pull out the elastic material. This is, I'm using a 0.8 millimeter elasticity in clear. I'm going to pull out about 2 feet of that. Get my measuring device out here. 1 and 2. Put the clip back on and cut the elastic material. And then you're going to give it a nice good stretch. So this is called pre-stretching. Pre-stretching is very important for you to get some of the stretch out so that with wear it won't do this, and then you'll be, that gives you a little bit more material as well. So now we're going to start off at one end of this, and we're going to loop through just like so with the 2 strands. And that just pulls right through, and you can flip it over and just do that. So that's connected on this side. Now we want to connect over on this other side, making sure that we have that nice and dry. I don't want to cut just yet. I want to make sure that I've done plenty of dry before I do anything more with that. So this we're going to just bring through this circle right here with the square knot on the side. And just kind of eyeball how much space we think we might need. And because this is going to be for a smaller person, you'll get quite a bit of stretch out of this, so it'll get big enough to go over the hand. Probably about, what is that? About 2 inches of material there. And then you're going to tie a knot over, go over one finger, and then come up through the center here. And do a double up through the center, all while holding the 2 pieces down here with your finger and your index finger, and then just get that nice double knot in there. Okay, so you should be good there. And then come back through the other side. That is not held by a knot. It was just a fold through. And we're going to do that double knot on this side too. That'll keep everything in check. So we're just going to get this nice and taut here so that all 4 of those strands are about the same length. And we're going to hold here again over the middle finger here, up through once, and then the twice. Once again, holding here, pull that knot down so it will come nice and taut. And we've got what's going to be plenty. You could put more strands there or not, completely up to you. Whatever feels right for you. You can do that. Didn't get that quite tight enough. Okay. So now you can put just a little bit of the regular stringing glue onto the knots that you've tied. And that's a regular GS Hypo cement. This is the perfect way to show you what not to do to your glue. This glue got somewhat damaged in my flight, so you don't ever want that to happen, because then the glue just keeps coming out. To put the glue on, you simply open the tube and see how it's still coming out and getting caught. So then you just put this in your hand, and if you watch very carefully, the glue will start to flow just from the heat of your hand. And then you could just wipe that little bit of glue that comes off right onto wherever this elasticity comes together. That can be glued just right on the knot, which will give you a nice secure thing. Then, of course, the hard part is getting the tip resealed again without squishing the tube. Don't squish the tube. All right, so now I feel pretty sure that we can cut these off, and we've got a really fun bracelet that you made here at the Jewel School. I'm going to cut these off, of course, at the Jewel School workshop. Wyatt White here, saying goodbye for now. Please watch me on JTV Extra on Fridays from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. every Friday, 9:30 to 10. Thanks so much. And don't forget, all the good stuff comes from JTV.